edition.
And with Mother's Day behind us, America's paid tribute to special moms, and we thought it might be nice to revisit one mom who literally risked life and limb for her little ones. Paul Boyd reports.
Scarlett may not be the prettiest cat in the world, but remember, beauty is skin deep, and a few years ago, Scarlett was mostly skin. This is what Scarlett looked like after performing what might have been the bravest deed in the history of the animal kingdom. She rescued her 5 kittens one by one from a burning abandoned building that she called home in Brooklyn, New York.
I've never met a cat like her.
Copywriter Karen Wellen adopted Scarlett soon after the tragedy that nearly killed her. The cat recovered, but not completely.
Her lids were burned off, so we have to lubricate her eyes a few times a day.
Now, one of Scarlett's kittens died soon after the tragedy, but the other 4 are flourishing in homes nearby, and they stay in touch.
Mother's Day for her is always wonderful. She gets cards from her babies.
And life has been a bottomless bowl of milk for Scarlett ever since she risked all 9 of her lives to save her babies.
This cat is definitely the queen of the house. Whatever she wants is hers.
In the East New York section of Brooklyn, David Gianelli has been a firefighter for more than 20 years. He has a certain instinct for helping animals in trouble.
They call me the animal man because I usually help stray animals and, feed stray animals, and anything I can do for them, I do. We always had animals as I was growing up, dogs, cats, birds, and I got to understand, how animals feel and what their expressions are, and try to learn how to read them. So I've been taking that, through my life, up until this point.
It was just before dawn on a cold night in March of 1996. Gianelli and his crew responded to a 4-alarm fire in an abandoned auto shop. The blaze was raging by the time they arrived. But above the sirens, the wind, and the roar of the flames, Gianelli heard tiny, high-pitched cries.
And one of the other firemen that was standing next to me said to me, "Dave, you hear that?" And I said, "Yes, I do. Where is it coming from?" The noise that we were hearing was noises of cats crying. As the men were pouring water on the outside of the building, I had asked the lieutenant, "Can I take a look and find out where these noises are coming from, the cat cries?" And he said, "Sure." I looked through the smoke, and there I seen 3 kittens huddled together, crying, shivering, you name it. They were afraid, they were hurting. And they were only, I don't know, a couple inches long at that point, maybe a couple weeks old.
Gianelli then found 2 more kittens, making 5 in all, that had somehow been rescued. Then he began a careful search for the mother.
I found her huddled up in a ball, in pain, up against a vacant building. This cat was in real bad shape. Her whole face, her paws, her underbelly, and everything was burnt severely. It was really horrible to see, because, to see an animal in pain like that, I just knew that I had to do something for it.
Gianelli called the North Shore Animal League, where he had brought abandoned animals in the past. Marge Stein took the call.
The voice was the same. It said, "Marge, this time it's a cat. And it's a cat and a kitten. Very, very badly burned."
But there was more to the story.
Then he said something to me that actually made my skin crawl. He said, "Marge, I think this cat went back into the fire to save these kitties because I kept on seeing kittens accumulating on the sidewalk one after another."
Somebody had to do something for her. She did her job, and now somebody has to do a job to save her.
So I said, "Dave, just drop everything, put them into the car, get them to the medical center. I will alert them, and we will be waiting for you."
Dr. Bonnie Brown, director of the Animal League Medical Center, helped take charge of the case. Scarlett, as the mother was now being called, seemed to know they were trying to help her.
Immediately, we took them both in, and we had Scarlett on one table and the kittens on another table. And I was taking care of the kittens, actually, and one of our other doctors was taking care of Scarlett.
To watch them work and to see the attention that these animals were getting It was unbelievable.
The first concern always with a burn patient is that they're going to have problems from smoke inhalation and that their lungs and the mucous linings in their chest are going to be destroyed, and they could die from that. We knew if she got through that phase that we had a better chance, but she still had a tremendous amount of damage all over her face, and then it was a question of making her as comfortable and as normal physically as we could.
Scarlett remained calm, like the center of a storm. With quiet dignity, she even began to eat. But her story was causing a sensation. The response was overwhelming from both the public and the press.
Scarlett's story really was so outstanding. There was no member of the media that did not want to know every single day what was going on with this remarkably heroic cat and her kittens. I was getting calls from South Africa, from France, from London, from all over the world. You know, it was just like the most unbelievable thing.
It's the mother in Scarlett, I think, that really got to everyone.
She's loving this.
Showered with round-the-clock care and affection, Scarlett was becoming quite a star. She even seemed to enjoy it.
I have rarely seen a cat so take to attention the way that Scarlett did. She became the queen, and people fed her too much, and we had this very funny story one morning where there was a story all over the news that she was pregnant because, unfortunately, she had gained so much weight, and we had to put her on a little diet. But she was adored.
Okay, kids. Mom.
As soon as her life was out of danger, the medical team decided to try reuniting Scarlett with the kittens she had risked her life to save. After all she'd been through, would she even recognize them?
We couldn't believe it. Certainly animals have very strong maternal instincts, but this was still way above and beyond what you would have expected.
Thousands wrote the shelter wanting to adopt this extraordinary cat. But only one person was lucky enough to take Scarlett home.
The decision was unanimous. That honor belonged to Karen Wellen, who wrote a beautiful letter. Seeing them together for the first time, you just knew that you had made the right decision.
Her kittens are now settled in good homes too. And Scarlett, still living in Brooklyn, enjoys the love and security she so richly deserves.
I think she's an extraordinary cat. I think all cats are extraordinary, but I think her sensitivity and emotion go beyond the norm.
You see a lot of stories about hero dogs and hero cats, and they're wonderful, but they sort of come and go as wonderful stories. And Scarlett's endurance as a special thing in people's hearts and people's minds really amazes me.
Fireman Dave Gianelli is a witness to the extraordinary things a cat can accomplish. He often stops by to see his old friend and to pay the special respect we all feel for the very brave.
Turn out truck, we got a verbal, 1-on-1. Let's go.
On March 29th, 1996, New York City Fire Department Hook and Ladder Company 175 responded to a one-alarm blaze at an abandoned structure. This call would be one that Dave Gianelli will never forget.
I got off the fire truck and I walked over to the front of the building while the men were pouring water into the fire to put the fire out. I said to the lieutenant, I told him I heard kittens crying. As soon as I got off the fire truck, I heard some kittens crying. So I looked around in the smoke and I found 3 kittens right to the right side of the garage door, still huddled up together, you know, afraid, crying, in a lot of pain.
When Dave found 2 more of the mixed-breed kittens, he assumed that their mother had left her litter behind to fend for themselves. But a few minutes later, Dave found a badly burned calico mother cat nearby and realized that she had risked her life to save her babies.
This mother cat was in bad shape. Her face was burnt. So I bent down, I picked her up real, nice and easy like, and I held her close to me like this. And I started to get like emotional a little bit, and I said, I can't do this. This is, I got to take care of this cat.
Dave found an empty box to hold the kittens and their badly burned mother.
The most amazing thing was when I put her in there, the condition that she was in, she actually, not being able to see at this point, she actually touched every one of them like she was counting one at a time, made sure she had every one of her babies. And everybody around was like, I can't believe she's doing this. She's actually counting.
But with no one on scene to attend to their injuries, Dave drove them himself to the veterinary hospital at the North Shore Animal League. This nearby facility was equipped to handle burn victims.
When I pulled into the parking lot, there was actually somebody in the parking lot waiting for me.
Dr. Brown, Donnie Brown to the medical reception area. Staff, please.
Here, can you just draw up 2 10cc boluses?
Although each of the kittens was in need of treatment, it was the mother who was the most seriously injured.
She's probably the worst burn victim that, at least at that time, that I had seen. She smelled of charcoal. She had charred skin, charred fur everywhere. Again, the concern is going to be smoke inhalation on the kittens as well. She was burned around her face severely, all around her mouth, all around her eyes. Her pads were very badly burned, so it was painful for her to walk. Her mammary glands were burned, and she was nursing, so that was a concern also. About 48 hours at least.
The hospital staff, who named the cat Scarlett, were all touched by her heroics.
Just the fact that she went back into this fire to take out each of her kittens. We see a lot of amazing animal stories, but even for us, that was one that really did get to us. We just couldn't believe it.
They did all they could. The only thing left was to wait and worry.
Those need catheters. We'll have to get them started. That's it. I think we really decided we were going to make it within sometime between 48 hours and a week after they were here.
Despite their efforts, the hospital staff was unable to save one of the kittens.
North Shore Animal League. Eddie speaking.
Within a few days, the media picked up on the story of Scarlett's heroic actions, and the North Shore Animal League was inundated with calls and letters from around the world.
Yes, we have Scarlett here.
Many offering to adopt Scarlett and her kittens.
They're all doing very well. If you'd like to check again tomorrow, we'd welcome your calls.
Everybody wanted to help. There was a tremendous outpouring of phone calls as well as the press. A lot of letters came in. People were very, very concerned about her. Could they help?
North Shore Animal League, Eddie speaking.
So then the question was, how do you pick a home when so many people wanted them? And we decided the only fair way was to have some sort of contest. And so we came up with the idea of asking people to please write in and describe why they felt their home would be perfect for Scarlett and or the kittens and why they wanted to adopt them. We went through close to 1,000 letters and read them, and we narrowed it down, and eventually the 3 homes were chosen.
While the 4 surviving kittens were adopted by 2 families, Scarlett found a new loving home with writer and New York resident Karen Wellen. Karen's heartfelt letter touched everyone who read it.
I wrote that I had been in a car accident, and at the same time I had lost my cat of 21 years, and it was a very difficult time for me, and I knew that for me to get another cat, to allow another cat to enter my life, it would have to be a very special cat, and I felt that Scarlett was that cat.
Although she requires daily medication for injuries to her eyes that she suffered in the blaze, Scarlett is otherwise healthy. She's put on weight and at 15 pounds has become a loving member of Karen's family.
Wow.
And there is no doubt that everyone that has come to know Scarlett has been touched by the selfless courage of this brave mother cat who risked her life to save her babies.
This cat has been through more than any human or any animal should ever have to go through, and she's just incredibly sweet.
Here was this cat who just instinctively knew to go ahead and save her kittens, and everybody was just amazed that this cat had done this and thought of her as really a model for motherhood everywhere in the world.
It's the first time I ever heard of a cat going in to a building back and forth that many times. Most of the time they're running out as we're running in, so I give her a lot of credit, and I think she's number one. I think she won Cat of the Year. I think she's definitely a Cat of the Year.
Wendy found just the right pet at an animal shelter, a place where pets without homes meet people who want pets. Adopting a homeless dog or cat can be a wonderful experience, but it takes a lot of thought and planning. Here at the North Shore Animal League America, families can find their perfect pet by spending lots of time with them.
Careful here.
Some people come looking for dogs or puppies. Others for cats or kittens. It's an adoption agency with hundreds of animals to choose from. And because an adoption is forever, it's important to choose the right pet for you. This adoption card tells you everything you need to know to make the best choice. Big dogs need a home with lots of room to run around. This little guy might be happy in a family with a small child. Volunteers are there to answer all of your questions and help you get to know your new family member.
He's a handsome boy, doesn't you think? And we have another cat at home.
Older dogs make great pets. After all, it wasn't long ago that they were puppies too.
She wants a treat.
The only way to know for sure is to spend plenty of time together.
Sharp. Hi, Alicia.
A friendly setting too, right?
And he's a baby too, so now we have an experience of a baby dog.
There's no more. Look how cute he is.
Once you know which pet is right for you, applications are filled out,
Yes, I have your friend Gina.
and references are checked and rechecked, all to make for a successful adoption.
And I need to ask you a few questions.
The best part of any adoption is the magical moment when a new pet is added to your family.
You lucky boy, you. You want to come home with us?
One of the most amazing adoptions ever happened to Scarlett, a very brave cat.
This is Scarlett. She's a beautiful, beautiful calico cat. She looks a little different from most calicos because she was badly burned in a fire. Scarlett lived on the streets. She didn't have a home. She'd found a garage, made a home for her babies, and the garage caught fire. She went in and saved each of her kittens one at a time. She pulled each one out, and each time she went into this garage, she got more badly burned. And if a very nice fireman hadn't saved her and brought her to the North Shore Animal League, she wouldn't be here with us today. And we're very lucky that we have her. She spent 3 months in the hospital recuperating. I wanted Scarlett because I was in a very bad car accident, and it left me with a little bit of a problem when I walked. And I thought I wanted a cat like myself who wasn't quite perfect anymore. The North Shore Animal League received so many letters and phone calls from people all over the world wanting to adopt her. And my letter was chosen. I couldn't believe it. It was better than winning the lottery. It was better than winning $1 million. Nothing could compare to winning this beautiful cat. And I think she wants to eat breakfast with us. Whoops. Do you like that? That's your favorite. That's tuna. I think that cats who've gone through, and dogs who've gone through difficult times become more loving and make great pets. Life with Scarlett is so much fun. When we first got her, she was a skinny little cat. You could see by her profile, she's not skinny anymore. She gets lots of food, lots of love. We're always playing and running around and jumping, and in the middle of the night sometimes she'll jump on top of me and say, "Let's play." I love to feed her from my hand. I love the feel of her tongue against the palm of my hand. I love you. I love you. The thing she likes the most is tissue paper. She loves to jump in it, hunt for toys that are buried underneath it. It's my favorite thing to do with Scarlett, is to hug her and kiss her. Yeah, you're the best. You're the best. She makes me happy, I make her happy. I think she's the most beautiful cat in the world. She saved her babies. She's a hero.
Your farms. As to why James is holding the little lamb will become quite apparent in just a little bit. But perhaps no story warmed the hearts of all Americans like the story of Scarlett. Scarlett, the little cat that ran back into the burning building to save her kittens. David Gillen has the story.
This is the way we first saw Scarlett the cat, blackened and burned and in critical condition after rescuing her 5 kittens from a blazing Brooklyn garage. The little kittens were just 4 weeks old, too small to escape the flames without their mother's help. Scarlett had pulled them from the fiery garage one by one, and in the process, become a national celebrity, an animal who risked her life to save her children. The one kitten later died, the other 4, and Scarlett herself, were slowly nursed back to health in a Long Island animal shelter.
Scarlett's heroic story stole the hearts of even the most hardened New Yorkers. So many people, 7,000 of them, offered to adopt the cat and her kittens that the animal shelter decided to hold a writing contest to find the perfect home.
This is why I think Scarlett should live with me. My family...
In her letter, Karen Wellen wrote that she had once been badly injured in a car accident and could relate to Scarlett's pain.
Being a cat lover who had lost a cat of 21 years, I just fell in love with her. And even though I didn't know her, I knew I wanted to have her in my life.
And that's just how it worked out. In late June, 3 months after the fire, Scarlett went home with Karen to Marine Park in Brooklyn.
I was over the moon. I was just so happy.
Today, Scarlett seems to have almost fully recovered. She needs eye medication several times a week, but other than that, is doing great.
She sees well, she hears well, she smells well, she eats well. She's getting very chubby, she's very playful, and she's doing phenomenally well.
As for Scarlett's 4 surviving kittens, they've been adopted by 2 families on Long Island and are doing just fine. Although one, a male named Tanuki, takes some very strange cat naps.
He gets in the sink and he stays there. He sleeps in the sink. It's unbelievable.
And animal lovers everywhere can sleep well too, knowing that the story of the stray cat, who in a time of danger wouldn't stray from her family, has a happy ending.
She's such an affectionate cat. She needs people. She wants to be with people, and we want to be with her.
This was kind of interesting what happened to Scarlett. When they brought her to the hospital, they had to separate her from all of her kittens, and then when they reunited the whole family, Scarlett ended up hissing it.